Hello, and welcome to the third class on the data analysis mastery. And like I've always been saying, that this is the specific course where you can become an expert data analyst in 7 days, even if you're a complete number newbie, aka, you know what I'm going to say, right? AKA, you don't like numbers or you don't like math. And of course, just about as I've always been saying in the previous classes, my name is Lolan Ajala. And today we shall be talking about designing survey. And I'm going to be sharing with you two tools that I've used in designing survey. The first is Google Forms, and the second is SurveyMonkey. But before I start this class, regarding the last class where we talked about writing a research plan, there's a part that I skipped, and I think it's going to be very important for me to talk about that part now. And that's the reason I'm taking us to the second class. So I'm going to open the research plan that we used for the last class and show you that part. So if we all remember very well, you found out that we talked about overview and goals of the survey. We also talked about the time frame for administering the survey, after which we talked about the sampling criteria. Then, if you remember quite well, we didn't touch the research timeline before jumping into survey questionnaire. So it's always very important for you to have a research timeline in your research plan. So this is like a spectrum that shows to your client or to whosoever you're presenting these to that this is the section with which you want to move. And for me, basically what we always have is the research commencement, or when research begins, the data collection, how do you want to go about it, the data analysis, the report writing, and of course the materials or the documents that are deliverables for your clients or for your manager. So it's always very okay if you have it in three parts: the research phase, the activity, and the date. So for me, my research commencement, so the activities, when my research commences, the first thing I do is I start up with the desk research to actually know how I want to go about my stuffs. And by the time this is being done, my questionnaire, my survey questionnaire is under development at that point in time. So I'm just developing it because it is from my desk research that I know exactly what I want to put into this. So my desk research gives me a broad view of what I want to talk about or what I want to research. So all I need to do is to fine tune it to suit my condition or my situation. So you can have your desk research, meeting with clients and other stakeholders to basically understand better or get some little data that you might need, like a baseline before you can actually continue. So, and the date will also be stated, your data collection process, how do you want to go about it, when do you want to go to the field, which days, and all of that. So it's always very important to highlight all of the activities in here. So your data analysis, the tools. So if they're kind of specialized research, take for instance like a quantitative research, and you need to use tools like Atlas to sort it out. So you can actually have every of your activities in here and put in the dates with which you like to achieve that. So it's always very important for us to take note of the research timeline. So please include it in the second class. So I think I've done justice to that now. So we can now continue with today's talk, which is about designing surveys. So I have to say something before I go deep into this, and that is using Google Forms and SurveyMonkey. It's a kind of internet thing, it requires internet, and everybody knows the way Nigeria does their things. So the internet might a little bit be slow So whenever I have search problems, so I will just pause the recordings for some time. So I check the internet until I continue. So I'm just putting this out so that we won't be that disturbed. So over the years, I've used several tools in designing my survey. I've used Survey to Go. I've used the ODK tools. I've also used Google Forms and SurveyMonkey. But I found that from experience that the Survey to Go and the ODK tools require more of I wouldn't say deep programming, but a little bit of programming, and that's most times being used for robust surveys. If you need to loop, you need to skip some parts and all of that, and you need to do a kind of reiterations and stuffs like that anyway. So, but because of the space or the frame of this course, that we want you to become a data analyst in just 7 days. And the best tools that have come to meet over the time that is a lot easier, cheaper to actually produce, because Survey to Goes and ODK Collect and ODKs are actually have their premium site, so you are likely to make payments over there. But these two are almost free, particularly the Google Forms. Google Forms is totally free, so SurveyMonkey is almost free. So using these cool tools, you can actually design good surveys, complex surveys, as a matter of fact, as we're going to see. So without further ado, let's design a survey. So the first thing I'll do is I'll just open my browser. Okay, then I think I've already done this. So I'll just open my browser, then I just type in Google Forms. So you can come to this URL, docs.google.com. So it will take you to a position like this. Then you come over to this plus sign on the bottom right of the page. So you see create new form. So you click that. So that will load the new form for you. So while this loads, I'll come back to this place because I already have a questionnaire, so which is the event planning questionnaire. So this will definitely be in your research plan. So just come over to this place and use it to design your survey. So this is the topic. I'll just begin by, so what you basically do is copy and paste. So this is the title of my research, so I copy this out. I come here. So the title of my survey, by the time I paste this here, this automatically changes to, get that? Okay, so I can give a brief description of what the survey is all about. So I can just say workplace event planning for my people. Okay, so that's regarding that. So I've written the title. So all I need to do is start putting in the questions in there. And there's some key things that I need to tell you about. So this plus sign is for me to add question. So this first question preloads itself. But if I need to add another question, I just click on this plus sign. So this double T kind of thing enables me to write a title for my research. This will help me add image, this will help me add video, and this will help me add section. But in most times, I found this plus sign and this almost equal to sign anyway very, very useful. So I use this to add my question, I use this to add my section. Most of my surveys, I hardly add images or videos, but these three, add question, add title and description, and this add section, it's very important. So we'll just let's keep feeding the questions into it. So the question number one is, So the first section talks about the information about the company. So I'll just come over to this place and copy that. So that's the first section. So I'll add the first section. Ctrl V. Do you get now? So this is like a subheading for it. So from this place, it goes to the next section, which is the information about the company. So I'll come here. All it needs is this company and organization contact information will be the description. So I'll come here and put the description in there. I can take out the number. So the first question here will be put in there. So I come over to this place. The first question is name of company. So because of time, I'll just write name. But I think, oops, what's this? What's this? Bear with me. Okay. So because of time, I've just come over to this place and Ctrl V. So I can write company name. So by the time I automatically write this answer type automatically changes to short answer, but I can actually choose it, set it to whatever I want. So if the company name is kind of long, I can, just make it a paragraph. So this is the first question. For me to keep hold of my question, I can keep adding numbers. So this is number 1. So I'll come over to this place and push this button. So this will take me to question 2. I'll come back in here and click, say, the address, company address. So I just copy, and I come back here, then I say company address. So as you can see, this automatically changes too, but I can also set it anyhow I want. So I can put it into paragraph so that I can take in more text. So I come back to this place. Because phone, fax, emails, and all of that, because they are basically same as this, you just type in the string. So I like to leave the rest of it to save time. So I can come back to section 2 to say employee demography. So I come over to this place. So this is the first section. So all I need to do is click on this place. Then it automatically takes me to the other section. So I put that in here, Ctrl V. So mind you, this comes in as section 3 because my section 1 represents my title. But if I need to delete it, it's something I can do. So I can delete this section. Oops, I think my internet. So I can sorry, Ctrl Z. Okay. So I have this as my section 1 now, and I have employee demography as my section 2. So I've taken out the first section. So I'll come back to this place. What is your gender? So that's the first question for employee. For employee demography. So I'll come back to this place. So I'll click on this. Then I add question. I can say question 1 here, and I say paste. So you can see the suggestion. It's telling me male, female, prefer not to see, and other. So I can actually add all. Mind you, this automatically loads as multiple choice because this question is a kind of question of how do I put it? Let's say mutually exclusive. So what mutually exclusive means is that 2 events that cannot happen at the same time. I don't know, maybe it's sometimes people say it happens. So it's like saying you can't be a male and a female at the same time. But I think it's possible, but for the scope of this course, so it's just either male or female. So you choose, and if you prefer not to say, you can click this. So let's go on by adding more questions. So I can come over to this place and choose what is your age. So I'll just do this. So I come over to this place, say number 2. I just put this. So this will definitely come as a multiple choice question too. So I'll just come back to this place, then I copy the options. So I just come into this place and I paste it. So it shows me all of that. So I can be under 16, I can be between this range and all of that. So I go on by adding more questions. So because these two are, similar to the rest of these. So let me just do that of marital status to make that 3 anyway. So number 3, I can take this out. Okay, so some people might wonder how I toggle between these two tabs or these two pages anyway. So I just use Alt and Tab. So I put my hand on Alt, then I tap on the Tab button. So I can Control V here and paste all of that too. So as you can see, it's just happening like magic, isn't it? Yeah. So you just keep doing that and everything keeps coming. Cool. Let's move because these questions are kind of similar, so you can do the same thing for this. So I intentionally created this section, interest in the event, just to show you a secret. So this is section 3. So I'll come back to this place, then I click on this to show me, to take me to another section. So while we're here, I click on the plus sign to actually take me to the question. So what the question says is, do you like attending work-related events? So I can copy this, come back to this place, see question number 1, boom. It's in there. Do you like attending work-related events? So it's a yes, no question. No, yes, no, maybe. So I can add the whole of this. But I come back to this place, and by looking at my question, what this says is, if the answer is yes, if somebody chooses yes, the survey should automatically take me to section 5. But if the person says no, it should take me to section 4. And if I say maybe, it should take me to section 4. So, but I've not created section 4 and section 5 anyway. So let's keep going. So I can just leave those 3 for now. So I create another section, which is why not interested. So this is section 3. So I'll create another section, section 4. So this is why not interested. So I come over here to copy the question. I come over to this place. With this plus sign, I can add questions. So I come back here, say number 1. Control V. Why do you not like work-related events? So it automatically loads it as a paragraph. So for somebody to actually explain the long form reason why the person does not like work-related events. But because of I have actually created a kind of option for it. So I'll just come over to this place, copy the options, come back to this place. Then I'll change this to checkbox. I can actually do multiple choice if I want the respondent to choose just one response. But because I need that person to check all that applies, so I can actually do this, then I say V. So I paste. So what this means is that the person can actually choose it bores me and also choose it deprives me of my family. The person can actually choose more than one. So that is what these checkboxes mean. But if I set it as a multiple choice, the person can only choose one out of the whole of this. So please take note of that. So while we continue, so we can now go to question 5. So question 5 says the company or organization is a corporation. Okay, so I think the question here should be what kind of company, what kind of company is it? So I've just come over to section 5 and I say company type. Section 5 and I say company type. So I come over to this place, section 5. So I can say company, control copy. Then I come over to this place to paste company type. So because I want people to choose all that apply, so I don't want you to choose one. Just select as it touches your company. So I can come over to this place and say the description, say please check all that applies. So from this plus button, the question comes up. So I can actually come over to this place and ask the question of what kind of company is it? What kind of company is your company? So I just copy this. What kind of company is your company? Control V. So is it is it um is it a corporation? Is it a professional services firm? Is it a charity? Is it an association or a private company? So I come here. So because I want people to choose more than one, just select as it applies. So I can actually come over to this place and say corporation, private organization. I couldn't copy because of those boxes at the side, aside. Charity, association, charity, association, and the last is professional services firm. Professional services firm. So I hope you guys are following. So you can actually pick any of which you want here. So just as I said the other time, with check boxes, you can pick as many as possible. So let's move forward. So after this, I can ask information about the event. So this is another section, probably section 6. So I come over to this place and say add section. Control V. Come back to this place. Please tell us. So the question says, please tell us what type of event you are interested in hosting. So I can add a question. Say question 1. Please tell us what type of event you're interested in hosting. Then I click on this to pick the whole of the responses. Oops. Okay. So I just come to this place. So because it says please select all that apply, because you can, so this is for you to pick more than one. I also had another question that says please tell us what organization's main goals. Please tell us what is your organization main goal. So I'll come to this place, copy these two back here, say question number 2, put this in there. So as you can see, you see that it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. So you just copy and paste. So as long as you have your research plan properly done, as long as you have it properly done, you have no problem whatsoever. So all you need to do is just do a kind of copy and paste, follow instructions, and that's all. So all other questions, what is the name of your event? What is the estimated budget? Who pays for the event? So all of these things are basically what you can actually choose. So that's like an assignment on your own part. Yes. So for question number 15, there's something I would like to show to you in here. So I think maybe I should just do it this way. So let me add another question. Okay, should I just add a question or a section? Let me add a section. So what's the name of your event? So you, by the time you pick this question and you put it and you drop it in there, you set the response as short answer or paragraph. What is the estimated budget for the event? So you can actually have this as a kind of between 1,000 to 2,000, between this to this, between this and this, and then you do that as an optional question. Is it an optional question? I think I'm missing something. Let me check. As a multiple choice. So you do that as a multiple choice, because if you do something of such like, okay, let me just do that. What's the estimate? So by the time I pick this and I say what is the estimate, so I can just say, so it comes as short answer, but I don't want that person to write it directly, because I want the person to give me an estimate. So I can actually use it as a multiple choice. So the first I can say 1K dollar, between $1K to $5K, and I can say from $6K to $10K, etc. So I can actually, pick it just the way I want and get going with it. So it's basically that. So I can do that as much as I want. So I wouldn't like to use checkbox for that, because I don't want somebody to choose this and also choose this at the same time. So I want you to choose just one. So I'm just going to leave it as multiple choice. But I think it's also a very good time for me to explain each of these response type. So for short answer, yeah, just as the name implies, short answer, what is your name? Lola Jala, that's all. So it's a kind of short answer. So you can set somebody's name, you can set name as short answer. But if you ask a question of why would you like to visit our organization, so you can make it a paragraph, because it might be much longer than just writing a name. So for multiple choice, yeah, just as I've explained, I think I've explained multiple choice and I've explained check boxes. But how do we go for that of drop down? So let me find a question to do that. Let me just add this. So basically you use drop down when you do not want someone to actually pick the whole of it. So maybe you do not want that person to see, okay, I think this, please specify any additional services you may need for your event. Select all that apply. No, I don't want to use that. Okay. So let me just give this as a drop down. So what that shows is that by the time the question is being filled, your respondent will not see any of the response until he or she pushes the drop down button. So by the time he or she taps the drop down button, so that is when every of these stuff comes out. So the person can now choose which he or she wants. So that is that as regards drop down. For file upload, if you want somebody to upload a file, and I'm very sure most of you would have seen it in some job application, forms. So I think when I was going to work for an organization like that on a part-time, so I did that. So the form came, and at some point I was asked to upload my CV. So from that point, by the time you click on file upload, it gives you, it opens a dialog box for you to enter to upload your file. And for linear scale, so linear scale is basically used whenever you need to get a kind of range. particularly, so most times are easy for to get MPS scores. So it's like saying choose between, let me form a question on that. Let me form a question on that. It's like saying on a scale of 1 to 10. You see? So by the time I put that, it automatically shows me that it's going to be a linear scale. So on a scale of 1 to 10, rate your experience at our events. On a scale of 1 to 10, rate your experience at our event. So you can just come to this place and set this to 10. So this is going to bring something like a linear scale when you can actually choose between 1 to 10. So I think that is that regarding linear scale. And what else? Let me check. So I've explained this. Okay, so multiple choice grid. So what multiple choice grid means is choosing. So I think this question works well as a multiple choice grid. Good. So take a few moments to let us know about your job and about how the company assists you. So let me copy this. This is like a question, control copy. So I come in here, say number 1, but I want it to be the multiple choice grid. So it's going to bring something like this for me. And once it brings something like this for me, the first thing I do is come over to this place and choose all the responses I have on the rows. Nope, I've not asked for you. Let me do it again. So I'll just come here on the rows, then I'll paste every of the responses. Then I'll come back here on the column. So I'll select all of these. You see, it's pretty easy. So all you need to do is understand the concept. Once you understand the concept, you just fit them in. Oops, I never knew it's going to come out this way. Okay, so I can. So that means I'll have to type that in. But it's fine. So the first is strongly agree. So I come here and say strongly. So the second is somewhat strongly disagree. Strongly disagree. The second is somewhat disagree. The third is neither disagree or agree. Those are the people that sit on the fence. Neither disagree nor agree. So the fifth is somewhat agree. Somewhat agree. And the last is strongly agree, I guess. Strongly agree. I guess right. Yeah. So with this will help you choose any of which as it fits this. So the opposite is for this. So how do I explain? So for multiple choice grid, you can only choose one response. So take for instance, I can only choose either strongly agree or somewhat disagree. Or I can only choose, so for this multiple choice grid, so take for instance, I want to answer the question of I am encouraged by blah blah blah. So I can only choose one response out of these 4. Out of these 5, I can only choose either strongly disagree or somewhat disagree or neither disagree nor agree and the rest of it. But if I come over to this place and choose checkbox grid, what that means is that for this one question, I can actually choose 5 of this response. I can pick I can pick more than one. But for the former that I explained, you can only choose one. So I hope you understand. But for it to look right, I'll just repeat the question. Then I'll repeat the question and I use something different. So let me go back to the question. Please note blah 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 if this assists you. So I hope you're getting it in bits. So these things are very easy. But just as a friend will say, if you don't know, you don't know. If you don't know, you don't know. So actually, most people don't know that they can do lots of research magic. Most people don't know that they can do lots of research magic on using Google Forms. But yes, you can do the magic here. Strongly disagree. So I'll just copy one of these. And for you to get this right and to make it faster, you should know how to toggle between two pages using the somewhat using the Alt tab. Somewhat disagree. Somewhat disagree. Neither. Somewhat agree. And strongly agree. Good. So we're good with that. So I'm going to add more questions coming so I can use that to explain the other two. So dates. So this is basically, I can say your age. It's not professional. It's not professional to add the question of how old are you. So most respondents might not answer that. So the best thing you can do is give a range that what is, say which of these do you fall into, or which of these does your age fall into. So, but just for this example to go well, I can say your age, how old are you, or okay, since it's date, I can say when is your birthday. So I can ask the question of when is your birthday, and for the last one, to explain time, I can say what time are you filling this form. So I think we're good. So that is that as regards that. You see, it's pretty easy. So you just need to know how to go about it. So do I need to send this to some couple of people so that they can fill it? So let me send this to my respondents. So all I need to do is just come here and I generate prefill link. So by generating prefill link, this helps me, fill the form even myself just to test it out. So I can, your company name, what's my company name? Success, address, blah blah blah. So I come over to this place. I email of him. So it's still loading. And I think there are a couple of things that I wanted to do that I forgot. So yeah, do you like this event? Yes, it's also very important. So when I ask the question of do you like this event? So I said if yes, continue to section 5. If no, continue to section 4, and maybe continue to section 4. So how do you add sections, or how do you link to sections? So all you need to do is come over to this place. So this is the question. Click on the question. Click on it. Then come down here. Then you say go to section based on answer. So from this place, I said if yes, continue to section 5. So I can come over to this place and say go to section 5. If no, go to section 4. And if maybe, go to section 4. That's all. So whosoever is filling this, by the time that person chooses yes, it automatically takes that person to section 5. And when that person chose no, it automatically takes that person to what? To section 4. So that's basically it. Is there any other thing that I would like to share? So from this area, you can add sections. And there are some important questions. So there are some questions that might be tagged important. So take for instance, I need you to tell me your company name. It's very important. If it's a required response, so I just check these as required. Boom. So I come over to this place. Your company address, I need you to provide that for me. So I just check this as required too. So any question that you want that person to answer, just check it as required. And you notice that a red asterisk comes to the top of it whenever each time you do that. So a red asterisk just comes in. So that is that as regards that. So if I load this again, let me load this. So it's going to come as this. Do you get? And by the time I say enter, I can't come to another place until this question is being answered. I can't submit that form until this question is being answered. So let me try and fill one. So I've done this. Chosen this male. Chosen age. Chosen this. Living with partner. Yes, I'm actually living with my partner. Do you like attending work-related events? Okay, so this is where I kept the caveat. Do you like attending work-related events? If I choose yes, it takes me to section 5. Let me do this. How do I test this to make it work well? Nope. So let me send this form to, okay, so that the person can actually fill this form. Okay, so I want somebody to fill this form. Control V. So it's going to come like a form now. Yeah. So it will show per section. So let me say, fill the name, fill this, then I say next. Mr. Man, go now. I hope it's not internet. Oops. Okay, gender, I chose this. Okay, gender, chose this. Yeah, so I click next. So it comes per section. Okay, now, so let's look at this. Interest, do you like attending work-related event? By the time I choose yes, it takes me to section 5. Okay, so it comes to this place. So let me back first. So it comes to company type. So if I back this, I hope this is not internet issue anyway. Oops, I will have to check this a bit. So I think it's my internet anyway. Continue. Okay, so I can choose private organization and it moves forward. So it takes me here. So let me just back a little bit. So company type, and that was because I chose yes. But if I had chosen no or maybe, where it will take me to is why. I think it should take me to why. Anyway, so if I chose no, it should bring me to why do you not like the company, so to say. See internet. I think I will have to switch to another internet now. I don't want to start naming some some okay. So take for instance I chose no. It will take me to section 4, which asks the question of why not interested? Why do you not it will take me to why do you not like work related events? So if I choose no or maybe, it will take me to why do you not like work related events? You see? So I can actually choose. So let me back again. So it take me to why do you not like? But if I chose yes, it will bring me to company type. So let me choose yes. You see that? So that means that the section thing is actually working very well. You get that? So let's go on. So I can just, so for here, please select as apply. I can select as many as I want to. It's possible. Also here, I can select as many as I want to. So let me next. So these are the ones with check boxes. Okay, but here, because I have this as a multiple choice question, I can't choose two. I can't choose more than one. So I can't choose this and choose this at the same time. So I can only go for one. So please specify any other services you may need for this. So this is a drop down, and that's the reason it's telling me to choose. Do you get that? We set this as drop down. So none of the response comes at sight unless you click the drop down button. Then you can actually pick anyone that you want. So this is the question I said about numbers, that on a scale of 1 to 10 rate. So I can actually rate the event 8. So here, remember I said over here that you can only choose one response per question. So take for instance, I'm encouraged this, I can only choose one. I can't pick more than one. So I can only pick one here, just as it applies or anyhow I want it. So this can actually go this way. But for the other one, I can choose as many as possible for a particular answer. I can choose as many as possible. So do you get the difference between both? So it's just a checkbox and a radio button thing. So the radio button is for me to actually choose just one, but for checkbox, I can choose as many as possible. So for birthday, so I set this as date, so it brings out a calendar, so I just pick whichever that I want. And for time, is it AM or PM? So I can say 3 AM. So I'm good. So after everything, I just invalid time. So 0, 0. So that makes it valid. So by the time this goes, I can come over to this place and check my response. So you see I already have one response here. So if I need to check the response, I'll just come here. So one cool thing about Google Forms, as a matter of fact, that's the basic reason, that's the main reason I love Google Forms. Whenever it involves data, it preloads the visualization for me. So if I'm dealing with large chunk of numbers, so with this I can actually know a percentage. So now it shows, because I chose male, chose 100% male has filled this form. It shows me the age, that the age is between 51 and this, just as I've chosen. So it pre-generates a chart for me, which makes it easier for analysis to be done. You understand? So even with Google Forms alone, I don't need to do any technical analysis. So I just check through the responses pick most of the important things that I need to pick, then I can actually tell my story or write a report based on that. So that is that as regards that. So next, we'll talk about how to do this same thing on SurveyMonkey. But before then, let me quickly take a break. I think I've been talking for close to an hour. Yeah, I've been talking for 15 minutes, approximately 15 minutes. So let me take a break. Then we'll talk about SurveyMonkey. Thank you very much. Thank you for holding on. So for SurveyMonkey, all I need to do is log into www.surveymonkey.com. Then I already have an account with SurveyMonkey. So by the time you go to surveymonkey.com, it shows you where to sign up. So just sign up. So he's welcoming me. Welcome back, Ajala. So once it takes you to your dashboard after you've logged in, so all you need to do is create a survey. So come over to this place, click create new survey. Then let me toggle back to my event planning something. So I would copy this. So I copy this. So build from scratch, copy existing survey, build it for me. But because I want to build this from scratch, I just click this. What's the name? I give it a name. So I just say, let me pick a name. Let me say feedback. So I say create survey. So it automatically creates the survey for me. So I'm right here. So my first question, what do I want as my first question? So I just come back to this place. So what's my first question? Company name. So I can just say, so my first question is, okay, what is your company name? So that's my first question. So what kind of response do I want? So it's just a straight line. So I want a single text box to be there. That's all. So I go to next question. Question number 2. What do I want? What is your company address? So what kind of response do I want? Sorry, let me take this. So what kind of response do I want? I just want not multiple choice, not this. So what is your company address? Just a box. Is there anything I can't find here? Single text box. Next question. So as you can see, it's just as easy as what I just did over there on Google Forms. This box, this box. So let's take more complex questions now. More complex questions like, what is your gender? So is a male or female thing, male or female kind of thing anyway. So I can come here and say, what is your gender? What is your gender? It's definitely multiple choice, male or female anyway. So I just leave that. So I go to the next question. Okay, so here I've not chosen the question type. So is it male or female? So what do I choose here? Select type. Nope. So what is your gender? Multiple choice. So it should be male or female. Male or female. So I've added that into it. It takes me to the next question. Okay, so I've done that. So it takes me here, male or female. So let's go forward. So I can do the same thing for these ones too. So I just need to just fill in whatever I need to fill. So let me try. What is your marital status? What is your marital status? So it's definitely multiple choice. So I just say married, single, divorce. Yeah, and let me add my favorite, living with partner. So that just goes like that. So from there, move on to the next question. So for it preloads every of my question. So what else do we do? What else do we do? So if I need a kind of slider, okay, so let me just, I think it will be better for me to do it this way. So if I want multiple choice, just as I explained with Google Forms, I do this. So if I want the drop down kind of response, just as I explained with Google Forms, I use this. If I need checkboxes, so for a response that I need you to choose more than one, I just come over to this place to do it. So let me check one of those with, okay, so please tell us blah blah blah. So with this I can choose more than one response. So let me come here, put my responses in here. So definitely, so it preloads itself. Check boxes, I can choose as many as I want. So I'll just come in here, then seminar, conference. I don't want to do too much. So I can say here, sales meeting. Come over here and say reception. So I can say gala here. And I can also come and say themed party. And let me take this one up. So it automatically does all of that for me. So it's just, so it's very easy. It's basically easy. There is nothing. So next question brought me to question 6. So from there I can choose these. So if I need something like slider on a scale of 1 to 10, just as I explained, I'll use these. So let me use that for this question. On a scale of 1 to 10, what blows your mind? What blows your mind? So I can come over to this page and say left slide should start with 0. From 1, I want 1. Center should be 5. And this should be 10. Next question. So it preloads all of that for me. So look at it. So I can move the slider just as I want. So more question. Question number 7. So I can come here. So for those bigger matrix, for the multiple text box, so I can use this for multiple. If I need multiple text box, if I need to make comments, if I need to make loads of how do I explain this? So if I need to give multiple drop down menus, so I use this. So if I need to do, so I can do this for questions like What's my question? What's my question? What's my question? Something like this. Okay. So I need this kind of matrix. So I enter row label. What's the row? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm okay with that. Osh. Row label. So I'll do that one after the other. So I can pick this is the first one. Enter row label, Control X. Put it here. Oops, Control X. Put it in here. So I think I can erase the others. So I don't want to make it too clumsy. So for columns, what do I want for the columns? So the columns are strongly agree. So for the columns are strongly agree, Control V, somewhat agree, neutral, etc. So I'll just do that and say next question. So it preloads that too and take me to the next question. So for here, I can only pick, just one. See that? So matrix of drop down. I don't think I've ever used this before. So let's see how it works. Control copy. So I'll just pick like 3 of them. So I don't think I've ever used this before, but let me see. Let's see the way it works. So, time is fast spent, but we have to do this, So you wanting to be a data analyst in 7 days takes work. And I'm glad you guys are there, doing the work. So I can come here and say strongly agree, somewhat disagree. So I'm just putting it there. I'm just using words like this too. So let's see next question. Oh, question. Forgot to put in the question. There isn't time anymore. Running out of time, but definitely have to go get something done anyway. Seriously. So strongly agree. Okay, so this is the kind of drop down this. Let me try this into it. Okay. So this brings a kind of drop down for each of the questions done. So that is that as regards that. So I hope you get this. So you can actually play with the rest on your own. So it's just a check thing. So after you've designed your survey, you come over to preview it. So you come over here to preview, okay, to preview most of your responses, everything you've done. Then after which you set to collect your response. So this is the part that you have to be an owner of an organization. So for organizations that I work for, we already have a paid we actually have a premium offer for this. So should I log in with my company email address so I can actually do this for free? But because this is definitely outside company work, so you need to upgrade to the premium version before you can actually collect responses with it, use it in analyzing your response and using it in presenting your data. But long story short, the best way to actually do this for free is Google Forms. So that is that as regards that. So I hope you guys enjoyed and have a feel of how to design a survey. So next time I'm asking you guys to design it. So as a data analyst, whenever anybody talks to you about designing survey, all you need to do is just smile and say, okay, I can do that on Google Forms. So even in interviews, you're being asked questions that, okay, have you ever designed a survey before? Yes, I have. So which tools have you made use of? So most times I make use of Google Forms. Why do you use Google Forms? Because Google Forms is free for me to use, and by the time my responses is being collected, Google Form has a way of making visualizations for me that I can actually use to write my reports, tell my stories and all of that. So just feel free. But other platforms like Survey to Go, like ODK Collect, like SurveyMonkey, most of those will have you make some form of payment. And that's the reason I showed to you the totally free version, which is Google Forms, and also SurveyMonkey as a premium version. So go for whichever you want and enjoy yourself. So thank you very much for this class. So we'll continue as I present the next class. So thank you very much for listening. For listening. Have a nice day. Bye bye.